D, wait for it, delightful.
Check out the name tag. You're in my world now, Grandma.
What's up, nerds? So we watched, this is my twin brother, Marlon. Marlon, say hi.
Hello.
So both of us are huge Star Wars fans, so we've been watching The Mandalorian Season 2. And this week they aired Episode 2 for Season 2, which was called The Passenger. And we'll get into why they called it The Passenger. Just to start off, Marlon, real quick, your first thoughts. Did you like this episode? What did you think about it?
I liked it, but this season is just really dragging so far. This episode wasn't any better in my eyes than the last one. I gave it a 6 out of 10.
Okay. I also didn't think this was the best episode. Like, I liked it, but at the same time, I'm all like, where are they going? Because it seems like there's only going to be, I think, 8 episodes. It's like, we really need to pick up the pace here and get going. But I did like the episode. So I didn't give it a 6. I gave it like a 7. Like, it wasn't as good as the first episode, but I did like it a lot.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so let's just get into this. So it started off with right after the first episode, and he's going through Tatooine and everything, and he gets stopped by those bandits and everything. I have to say, my first note thing that I wrote in my notes was I felt so bad for Baby Yoda when the thing flipped over and he was just a tumbling. I was like, oh no, not Baby Yoda. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I feel so bad for him. I love him. He's so adorable. And then with that whole bandit thing, I was like, when that little was all holding the knife to Baby Yoda, and then he takes his jetpack. I'm like, who takes a jetpack? I'm like, what are you gonna do with that? What are you gonna do with that little? I'm like, and you know nothing good is gonna come of this.
Right.
And so
I will say that scene, what I was really impressed with that is I love it when they show all the weaponry of the Mandalorians, and so you know he used his jetpack when the speeder bike was destroyed, and then he used the little grappling hook to rip the gun out of his hand, and they use his jetpack again to launch him in the air. So it's just really cool when they use all the gadgets on their stuff.
I agree. I really like that a lot too. I'm glad you brought that up because I didn't write it down and I forgot about it. So I agree. I really liked it a lot also. So then he goes back to Mos Eisley and he meets up with Pelimoto, who is played by Amy Sedaris. I think that's how you say her name. And she's in Han's booth at that bar in Mos Eisley. Like, again, don't get me wrong, love the Easter eggs, but you don't have to go to the same bar. I mean, is that the only bar?
Can I just say I wrote down on my notes that this actress looks like Elaine, like an old Elaine from Seinfeld.
That's funny. I didn't write it down, but I was like, it looks like a witch and a broom had a baby.
Yeah, like I don't know if they meant for her to look that way, but I'm just like, man, I'm waiting for her to do the little dance thing that Elaine does.
Oh, see, I thought when you said dance, I totally thought when I was like, she looks like the chick from Flashdance, and she's just like, I'm a maniac.
That could be true too.
So she's sitting there with that big ant-looking thing. Oh gosh, what was it? His name was Dr. Mandible, and I'm all like, what is that? And real quick side note, did you know Peyton Reed directed this episode, who is also the director of Ant-Man and Ant-Man 2? So I was like, oh, maybe that's why he put this weird ant creature in here, because it's all like, oh, wink, wink, and everything. But I didn't like it. I didn't like the ant creature. I was like, he's gross. He's gross. I'll tell you, and I also wrote down, if Baby Yoda gets any cuter, I'm gonna freak out. Like, this episode, he was gooing and guying and shit, and I'm all like, oh, how freaking cute is he? I just want to squeeze his cheeks off.
Yeah, it is a cute puppet. They do a good job.
For sure. So then after she finds out where there's another Mandalorian, but there's a catch, he has to take this frog lady / lizard woman to this planet with her babies, because the babies need to be fertilized from the father. but they can't go in hyperdrive because if they do, the babies will die and everything. And this is the last of their line and everything. I did like when she was telling him like, oh, it's on this planet. And he was like, what's the catch? She's like, there is no catch, but you have to do this. And then she's like, and you have to do this. And I like that she kept saying and buts and everything. So it was like, there is a catch, lady.
It definitely is like, I feel like that's like the bartering / like weird crookedness of Tatooine.
Right on.
So it kind of like, I did like that part, like her whole like tricking him into paying the bet and the way, just the banter between them. I will say it was the dialogue between those scenes was kind of boring to me. I was just like, all right, whatever.
Right on. In fact, I do think I wrote in my notes here that the episode was a little boring until the X-Wings and the ice planet, which we'll talk about in just a second. So, what did you think of the design, the alien design of the frog lady?
Okay, so I didn't like up until the point where, and I might be jumping ahead, up to the point where they she's like jumping in that cave. Up to that point, I thought it was just really weak costuming and stuff. I was like, man, this is the best they can do with a show with this kind of budget. Like it looked like a Halloween costume that they bought and just repainted, honestly. And then they added like little, because like where her ears were like the little
bulging.
Yeah, and then blinked. And I was like, I'm not a prop builder on these movies, but I could make something like that.
Right on. I just wrote down, it's weird. She looks weird, and it's just a puppet. Like, it's just a puppet head. It's somebody in there just going like this, and while the hands are out the side. I'm all like, I don't like it. I didn't like the fish lady, the lizard lady either.
They could have done better for sure.
And when he was on the ship, I didn't like that he slept with his helmet on. Like, he was in that little bunk of his, and the only person that was there was Baby Yoda. And I'm like, listen, I get you don't want to take your helmet off, but is it really that big a deal to take it off in front of an infant?
I think it would almost be better if he took it off. Like, one thing that I've noticed, like, so they want to portray this father-son type relationship between Mando and Baby Yoda, and then like it just feels like they're not getting to that point. And I almost wish like he only took his helmet off in front of Baby Yoda. Like, it's like, this is like a son type figure to me, so I'm going to start relating to him as a father figure. And Pedro Pascal's a great actor, so I would like to see him more than just kind of hear the acting through his voice, if that makes sense.
Right on. No, that does make sense. So then he's flying to this planet that he needs to go through with the fish lady or lizard lady, frog lady. And he gets stopped by X-Wings. Now, my first inclination was X-Wings are awesome. These are awesome. I love seeing these. I know we saw them in the trailer, but I was all like, X-Wings, yay! So they get into this kind of dogfight. It's not really a dogfight. The X-Wings are just chasing him because they're under the New Republic, and there's like a warrant out for his arrest. What were your thoughts on the X-Wing chase sequence?
I really loved it. I said this in the last episode. I love his ship. So
the Razor Crest.
Yeah, the Razor Crest. I love it. And so any scene it's going to be in, I think it's actually its own character in the show, in my opinion. And I mean, I wish they would have taken that scene into a little different place, but it's whatever. But yeah, I thought the scene was great. That he didn't have his transponder on or whatever, so they asked him to turn it on, and then he's making up this stuff. It reminded me a lot of Firefly. And when they would run into problems, like the way what's his name, the pilot would always try to get out of things.
Right on.
So, but yeah, I love the scene. I thought it was really good. Even the way that they were getting out of the whole chase scene itself. He couldn't hit warp or anything, so he had to like fly around and dodge them, if you will.
Right on. So then they crashed on this ice planet, and I have to say, when they slid into that cave, I was like, "Oh, that was a good move." And then when they were in the little chase sequence, I loved it when he did the free fall, he turned off the edge, and then they tipped, and they were falling backwards. The lizard lady's reaction made me laugh so hard out loud. I was like, it was so good. She was like, "Ah!" And I was like, "That's so funny." I was like, all right, she doesn't look weird. She just looks funny. Yeah, the X-Wing scene was just so good. That was probably.
Oh, one thing I wrote down that I liked about the chase scene is there was on his computer. There was a diagram of the canyons, and it was in that same blocking of the way Luke's X-Wing fighter was in the Death Star of the first of A New Hope, and I thought that was really cool. Just kind of because he said, "Oh, this is a pre-Empire or whatever ship or something like that." I can't remember off the top of my head what the exact words were, but I thought that was a cool little thing that they had in there. Anyway,
right on.
But the chase was really good. I thought that was probably the best part of the whole episode, in my opinion. Yeah, up until they're going to start to freeze to death in this cave, which we can talk about.
So, I don't know about you, but I kind of thought it was a little sad when Baby Yoda kept eating that lizard lady's eggs. But
I wrote that down. I said, why is he eating all her eggs?
But I do have to admit, I love when he looked at them longing, he's just all he's he's just looking at them he's oh, those look delicious. And I have to admit, they did look delicious. They look like candy to me, just a big ball of fruit with sugar on it. And I was like, oh, that looks delicious. I might eat one of those. But not if their mother is just sitting there watching me. I did also, when the ship crashes and everything, I did also like that the lizard lady used the microphone from the robot from the last.
I like that part too. Yep.
And everything, because she was eyeballing it, and I thought she was gonna turn the robot on, and he was gonna be all coming to life and everything, and I was all oh crap, he's gonna have to deal with that robot. But I liked that she used the translator to talk to him. Okay, so then he goes to find the lizard lady because she leaves the ship, and he finds her in this little sauna, and she's bathing with her eggs and everything. And then Baby Yoda goes off into those little eggs. Now, I don't know about you, but did you get Alien vibes when he was?
Yeah, that's what I wrote down too. I said, did this guy just watch Alien the movie, and that's how he got this part?
Yeah, because when he opens it, it even falls like a face hugger egg does, and it's like a spider inside. And I was all oh, are these the aliens from Alien, the face huggers? But it wasn't. They were different looking. I did think that the spiders were scary. When they all started popping out their eggs and they just started crawling towards them, I was like, oh! I was like, run.
It was creepy. One thing that these shows do, all of them do it, it seems like, is I hate when Baby Yoda ate the one, and then all of a sudden, all of them are hatching out of nowhere. That, it just... Every time any show does that or movie does that, I'm like, this is stupid because they don't explain it. Maybe they're all hived together through a root system or something. But I hate when stuff happens. As soon as I saw them all wiggling, I'm like, this is dumb. They're all going to hatch, and then the mom's going to show up. And of course the mom shows up and they do a whole Harry Potter spider chase scene.
Right. I totally wrote that down too. I was like, did they just copy Harry Potter?
It was the dude had a weekend of watching movies, and he watched Alien and Harry Potter, and he said, we can do this.
Right. I did, when they were running from those spiders, I did expect the lizard lady to get eaten. Because I wrote down here, she's going to bite the dust, because she was all falling behind, and she kept looking behind, the spiders right behind her. But then she started hopping, and I was like, oh, never mind, I take it back.
Yeah, the hopping thing, I liked the animation that the graphics put together. I like that part.
Right on. And so they get back to the ship. They fight off the spiders. They're about to lift off, and then the mom shows up again, because he did blow up the mom, and you thought she was dead, and then she showed up again. And right before she killed them, the X-wing pilots show up and they take down the big spider giant mom and everything. And then they're talking to Mando, and they're all like, hey, yes, you have a warrant on you, but you did this, this, and this. You helped capture somebody, and you helped to do all the stuff that they kept mentioning, though. I'm all like, oh, I don't remember this. I'm like, I don't remember it. So I'm like, maybe I'll have to go back and check it out.
Yeah, it was on the prison escort ship episode from season 1 is what they're talking about.
Oh, okay.
When he left them in the cell.
Right on. I did like the Asian guy that was the pilot in there. That was played by hold on, I have the cast up here. Paul Sun Young Lee. I think that's how you say his name.
Sure.
I didn't know him from anything. I guess he's best known for his role in Kim's Convenience. But I didn't know him, but I did like him a lot. He was fun. He was fun. The other pilot was Dave Filoni, and I'm sorry, but Dave Filoni, every time he shows up in these as an X-Wing pilot, all he does is just sit there and smile like, and I'm all like, where's your dumb hat, Filoni? I hate that dumb hat. I hate his cowboy hat. It's so stupid.
Yeah, I don't like cowboy hats either.
And I also wrote down, I want/need more X-Wings. More X-Wings. Cannot get enough of the X-Wings. They were so good. Also, I wrote down, because the whole time, I don't know about you, but I was hoping that Baby Yoda would step in and use his powers. And I'm like, when is Baby Yoda going to use these Force powers again? He's only used them like twice. And the whole time I'm just like, when is this going to happen? Like, come on, tell Daddy. When is it going to happen?
Yeah, I was expecting Yoda to use his Force powers a little bit more too, since he was so like he used them a bit in the first season. But I mean, especially when like the scene where they get chased back to the ship, they're in the hangar or the cockpit, and Baby Yoda's got one on his head. I expected him to like create like a force bubble or something to keep him away, but actually Frog Woman saves him by shooting all the spiders while he flamethrowers the door shut.
Right on. Sorry, I'm just writing down some stuff. And so then they lift off the planet and they're just hunkering along through space. And that's how the episode ended. I did not like the episode where it ended. I mean, obviously, whatever, but I didn't like it because I'm all like, oh, that's where you're going to end it, where they're in space all taking a nap. I'm all like, whatever. It's like, I'm not mad about it, but at the same time, I wanted more.
Mm-hmm.
So that is the episode. I have a couple of questions before we end this real quick. First off, what was your favorite part?
The X-Wing Razor Crest chase scene is probably my favorite part of the whole thing. My favorite
part too. I was so good. I wish they would have blasted a little bit more, but it's fine that they didn't. I loved it. I thought it was really good. I loved his little move where he like turned and then he just turned off the engines and he free fall down. I thought that was really good. And then I liked how he just slid into that cave backwards. That was really good too.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as the next episode goes, what are you hoping to see?
Man, as I would hope that the story would progress a little bit further. I mean, I liked that the X-Wing showed up and they were part of the new galactic Republic or whatnot. But I'd like to see a little bit more of that. Like maybe you show us a capital ship or a city where it's populated. It's not Tatooine, or we get to actually see, what the rest of the civilization has done after the Empire, rather than these hokey towns or less populated areas. You know what I mean? I'd like to see a lot of people. Like, show me a Coruscant after the Empire kind of thing.
Right on. Also, I would like, so the next episode, what I think is the one, if you remember the trailers at all, it's when they're on that boat and they see that the wrestler, I did not write down her name, it's Sasha something, I think, who I think is a Jedi, but the rumor is that she's playing Sabine Wren from Rebels. But I think it's that episode, and I'm hoping to see, which I just answered my next question as far as, but I'm hoping to see in the next episode a little bit more progression, like you said, but in the sense that they find a Mandalorian and they get a sense of where we're going from here, like where we're going to find Yoda his home.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, so who do you think, this is my last question, who do you think is the next Mandalorian that they will find?
I mean, Sabine would be cool, but I mean, they already teased Boba Fett, so I wonder if, like, but I don't remember, did he have Boba Fett's armor with him at the end of the episode? I remember him lugging a bunch of stuff on him.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I remember seeing him lug a bunch of stuff on his shoulders, but I honestly don't remember seeing it.
He did have Boba Fett's helmet, so I'm assuming he had the rest of the armor also.
Yeah, so I mean, I'd like to see Boba Fett show up just because, you know, Boba Fett's awesome. But I mean, if they, I don't know, I think maybe Sabine would be cool. That'd be a sweet, and it probably is going to be that since Dave Filoni's, you know, with her being in Rebels so much, but we'll see. I don't know. I hope it's Boba Fett. Honestly, I hope Boba Fett's the next Mandalorian that we get to see.
See, I think it's going to be a Sabine Wren, but I also think it's mostly going to be Bo-Katan from Rebels.
Okay, that'd be cool.
Because she's going to be in this season. But my whole thought process around that is that Bo-Katan is like heading up another clan of Mandalorians after the Siege of Mandalore. So she's all, you know, hey, we're not what we used to be. And now she's like leading other Mandalorians. And maybe Sabine Wren is one of them.
Yeah, that'd
be this little water planet.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that'd be cool too. I'm down for anything. I really just, it could be any character or whatever. As long as there's good story and good acting, I'm down with just about anything.
Yeah, it's when sickness.
Yeah, it's really just like, I don't know. I feel like the storylines, like, I feel like episode 1 and episode 2, you could have combined them as one episode and made it just a really, like, an hour and 15-minute episode 1, if that makes sense. Like,
right on.
He saves that town real fast, and then he gets this chick on his ship, and Bob's your uncle. He's on his way. So I feel like if this is only 8-episode season, they're not impressing me so far.
I do have to say this is probably gonna be the weakest episode of the season. Maybe. We
could only hope, because if it gets any weaker than this, they wasted money on a season 2.
Right on. Well, it's like season 1, episode 4 or 5, whatever one episode where he goes and finds the bounty hunter junior, the kid that wants to be a bounty hunter on Tatooine, and they hunt down that Asian woman. Everybody says that's the weakest episode of that season, even though I really liked that episode.
I loved that episode.
So, but everybody says that's the weakest episode, and I'm all like, well, if this is the weakest episode, then I'm fine with that. I'm
fine with it too. I would say the weakest episode in season 1 was that one where they went to that weird, like, algae farm. Like, I was super bored the whole time watching.
I agree with that. That was episode 4. I remember that, because the only thing that came out of that was we got to meet Gina Carano's character. I can't remember her name off the top of my head, and Baby Yoda drinking the tea or the soup. Whatever.
Yeah. I'm not for, like, anyway. Yeah, I think that from now on, you know, I'm gonna give it. I love Star Wars. These last 3 episodes of the movies, but Mandalorian, it really isn't. It's not disappointing to the point where I want to stop watching it, because I do. But I'm telling you, I get that they don't want. But like, I get they don't want him to take his helmet off, but I really wish that they would. ship by himself, then I would say, let him have his helmet off. He can just act by himself, talk to Baby Yoda.
Gotcha. All right. Well, that is the episode, you guys, of The Mandalorian Season 2, Episode 2, The Passenger. What did you guys think about this episode? Did you like this episode? Did you not like this episode? Are you like us and you think this is probably the weakest episode of the season? Or me? I don't know if you said that one. I might have made that up.
So far, the weakest episode.
Yes. So go ahead and leave all your comments in that section down below. If you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button. You know, I won't mind. Marlon, you won't mind either?
I won't mind.
All right. And then if you are new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. And we will see you next Saturday when we review The Mandalorian. You guys have a good week. Bye.